quarterbacks are different.
Yeah.
We want mother, father, dual parent.
Mm-hmm.
We want that kid to be 3, 5 and up because he got to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad decisions off the field at all,
Mm-hmm.
because he has to be a leader of men. It's so many different attributes in what we look for. Physical, offensive lineman. Defensive lineman is totally opposite.
What do you mean?
Single mama, trying to get it. He's on free lunch. I'm talking about just trying to make it. He trying to rescue mama. Like mama barely made the flight.
That was Deion Sanders, some of y'all's hero. He was on the Black Millionaires podcast as other Black people were chuckling. Nobody challenged him, by the way. Imagine a white coach saying that. Jimmy the Greek lost his whole career just saying Black athletes have advantages. This Negro got on a podcast and said, as a coach, he wants his quarterbacks to have 2 parents because they're smarter, and he wants them to have a 3.5 GPA. Did your sons have that? Were you married to? Anyway, oh my goodness. And you want your defensive line to be just the opposite. Sounded really ignorant, and the giggling was very problematic for me. That was Deion Sanders. Let me welcome to the show. Y'all may not know this, but Jennifer Jones-Austin is raising a world-class athlete. She's got a son that is going to be in the major leagues. I'm going to call it like it is, USC's own. She's an anti-poverty activist, of course, CEO of FPWA. She's got a book about her journey beating cancer. I saw the picture of you before and after as you celebrate your cancer freeness, which I appreciate. Consider it pure joy. She is that. Jennifer Jones-Austin is here. Hi.
It's always a joy when I'm with you. You know how I feel about you.
Wow. Yeah. It's mutual. I'm a reflection. I exalt you. I honor you. I love you. Your spirit is all of the things. And I was glad to get to know you even more when you came to Healthy, Wealthy, Wise, because I was like, oh, Jennifer gets down. She dances. She plays cards. Wait a minute. We need to be friends, not just on the radio friends.
There we go.
Shoot.
And I'm ready for another game. Whenever you're ready, whenever you're game, I'm game.
Come on. Yeah, I'm trying to get my whole house together so I can have a card party. And then I'm like, then there's people gonna be here with breathing and stuff. So I'm working through my own problematic self. I probably need counseling. That said, when you hear, representation, you were raised in a household with a man, William Jones, pastor, Reverend Doctor, who gave you a sense of self that grounded you into who you are today. And I think about how we idolize and put people on pedestals just because, they can dance or sing or, they're prime time and they make us feel good in a depraved world. We look for those little moments. And I don't see people still sending their children after he left Jackson, whatever the problem was with the administration and all of that, how he handled it, I thought was very inappropriate. But I feel like we're doing a lot of inappropriate things out in public, whereas before we knew where the lines were.
Yep.
How do you take all of this?
I think that if we just begin with the Black community, like we often credit ourselves with being a very forgiving people. I think that coupled with that quote, forgiving people, or embedded in that is that we give ourselves a pass too many times as well. And what Deion Sanders said about, like what he wants, what I can appreciate as somebody who's engaged in the space of dealing with poverty and economic deprivation is that it is like from an economic basis, it's hard when you have moms, Black moms in particular, who are not paid their worth, raising children on their own. I can get like when you say like another income would be helpful in the house, another set of hands, another set of eyes, another positive role model. I get all of that. But I also understand and appreciate that there are a lot of, single-headed households where people are grinding and they are doing the best that they can and they're delivering for their children. I also understand that not everybody's in these situations where, maybe they're raising kids by themselves because of their own circumstances or because that's their desires. So when I hear Deion Sanders talk like that, I'm like, that's just ignorant. Well, that's ignorant, right? That's what some people say, that's ignorant. it's silly. And it's reinforcing this narrative that, that we've been conditioned to believe that our children can't be their best if they're not raised in a two-family household. That they may struggle, but children in two-family households struggle as well.
The fact that the fact that he said only his quarterbacks. I remember a time when Black people couldn't be quarterbacks because the NFL deemed Black men not smart enough to be quarterbacks. And then Doug Williams was like, "Come on through, Grambling, watch what I do. I'm going to win a Super Bowl." But he didn't get another chance. And then Warren Moon came, and then Randall Cunningham. Like, that's how old I am. I remember I can name every Black quarterback because it was such a rare thing. Now it's not a rare thing. Then it was like, oh, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, first time two Black quarterbacks meet each other in the Super Bowl, because I've always understood that we are not psychologically or intellectually damaged or deficient in any way, but he's now parroting the same thing. Like, right. I need my quarterback to have a 3.5 and two parents. Like, you sound like them.
No, this is what I'm going to be really honest with you, and I'm going to say to you that. So I have a son who has two parents. I have a son who has a better than a 3.5 average and is playing D1 baseball. I don't believe my child is any smarter. I mean, this is just where I come from. And if he's listening, he's going to be like, what you talking about? Right? But I don't believe that he is any more capable than any other child. What I do know is that we have, as parents, been able to give him certain experiences, certain exposure, certain resources that have helped him to develop the talent that he has within him. We've been able to support him with resources when he struggled in a class. And I do know that two incomes have supported that. But that doesn't mean that the kid who hasn't had all that can't be as good and can't be as successful. And that's where I find fault with what Deion Sanders is saying, because it's putting this narrative, and it's casting children who don't have this traditional, what is, today, in today's world, more conservative lifestyle. It's saying that they can't compete, they can't hang, they can't fully engage. I don't think that's fair, especially when I appreciate that some of the children who haven't had all of these, like what one might say, privileges, that they've learned how to work through adversity. They may actually be stronger and better on that field because they know what it's like in the ways that some kids who've had, have had every advantage don't know. They don't know what struggle looks like. They don't know, what it looks like to, like whether it's to go to bed hungry or to feel like you're being rejected, whatever it may be.
Right.
But they may be stronger for it. So I think it's an ignorant statement, and it just feeds these stereotypical narratives, and it does nothing for our community, and it does nothing for young people who may not even have a choice in all of this in terms of centering on their value and their worth and what they're capable of.